Hello, everybody. My name is Anish Gupta, and welcome back to the Cold Hard Truth podcast, bringing you the cold hard truth on everything football. Now, in today's video, we're doing another tier list ranking. This time, we're doing NFL cornerbacks. Now, if videos like these interest you, please consider liking and subscribing down below. It only takes a couple seconds of your time, and we would really appreciate it. And while you're down there, feel free to turn on the post notification bell so you won't miss out on football content like this. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here's my tier list for the NFL cornerbacks. Now, our first one, as you can see on the screen here, is going to be Adora Jackson. Adora Jackson is a really interesting case. Obviously, he just signed with the New York Giants for 3 years, $39 million. I personally think it was a little bit overpaid. He is a good corner, but, he was always better as a returner his first couple years. Then he had a good year in 2019. He only played 2 games in 2020, so I'm going to put him in average because, again, he doesn't have to be that really good corner for the Giants. So I'm just going to put him in average. And compared to the guys here, he's an average corner. Now, we're already starting off with an elite corner, Jair Alexander. Some might call him the best in the game. I'm going to put him number 2 on my list. He is tremendous. He's one of the best man-to-man corners I've seen. Obviously drafted in 2018. He's so young, and he's just only getting better each and every single year. He's one of the best corners in the game right now, and I think he can play any route. He's so quick with the ball. He's got great ball instincts, so he's definitely going in that elite category. Now, we're going from Jair Alexander to Bless Austin. Bless Austin, I'm going to put an average just because he is the starting Jets corner, and he had a couple good games this year. He didn't even start all 16 games, I believe. So, the Jets just don't have great cornerbacks. Their secondary is pretty weak, so I'm going to put him in average, just not much to say about him. Same thing with Chidobia Wuzier. He's now on the Bengals, I believe. It's tough, average, below average. I'm going to actually put him below average because Cowboys fans would tell me he just struggled a lot, especially with deep balls. He was never consistent. I think he only had 5 passes defended in 2020, and he was just part of a Cowboys secondary that needed a lot of work. So he's going to go in below average. James Bradbury, it's really tough. He's going to be that cutoff. But yeah, I think he's going to be that cutoff. I think he's going to be in borderline elite just because obviously he had that elite year. Now, can he back it up again? He's going to headline that borderline elite. I think he's just outside. I want to have only a few cornerbacks in that elite category, and I think he's going to be just outside. He's kind of just outside that top 5. You can put him in your top 5. Honestly, let's see how this list shakes out. I might move him up, but again, we all know who James Bradbury is. He's the corner for the New York Giants. He moved from the Panthers, and the Giants got an absolute steal. I mean, this dude, again, kind of like Jair Alexander, he's got great ball instincts, and he's great man-to-man, especially in press coverage. This dude is incredible. He had a ton of passes defended this year, well worthy of a Pro Bowl spot that he got, and one of the best corners in the league right now. Anthony Brown's going in below average. Played for the Cowboys, played for the Steelers. He never lived up to his potential. I mean, he was quick. He was always talented, but again, part of a Cowboys secondary that just wasn't good, and he just can't play his zones properly. I don't know what it is with Anthony Brown. I mean, again, I never liked him. I love throwing to him when we played the Steelers, but yeah, I think he's going to go in below average. Now, Sean Murphy-Bunting, it's really tough because I'm actually going to put him in good. Now, I think this good tier is very vague because it's going to have a lot of those guys that are like pushing the top 15, and it's also going to have those guys on the back end of the top 25. The back end of the top 20. But Sean Murphy-Bunting was amazing in the playoffs. He had a pick in every game leading up to the Super Bowl. Obviously, the one against the Packers could have been holding, but he's great man-to-man. He played his role excellently, and I think he's only going to get better. He's really young. So let's move on to Malcolm Butler, a guy who used to be up here, but now he's down in average. And like I said, he's just honestly regressed every single year since 2016. I believe he's made 1 Pro Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, once the Titans kind of paid him a lot to be their number 1 corner, he just never lived up to expectations. So we're putting him in average. Carlton Davis deserves to go in good. This man is tremendous. He locked down Michael Thomas in the divisional round. He also is the number one corner on the Bucs, and he has really lived up to it. I don't know why they don't have Jamel Dean on this list, but him and Jamel Dean made an amazing cornerback duo. Obviously, Sean Murphy Bunting played the slot a lot, but Carlton Davis on the outside was terrific. He's got great size, great hands. He can press up really well, and especially it's hard to beat him because he's so quick and he's got great catch-up speed. So Carlton Davis is going in good. Trevarius Ward, he's going in below average. He had 0 picks this year. Wasn't good for the Chiefs. He got constantly burned. I just didn't like him. He wasn't a good corner. He didn't even start all 16 games. Even the 14 games he was available, he didn't start all of them. So we're going to put him in below average. Cameron Dantzler, I want to put him in good, but it is too early to tell because he's got that much potential. Because he started off pretty slow. All Vikings corners did terrible. It was led by Mike Hughes and just a bunch of guys, no-name guys that, really didn't have much playing time before this year. But Cameron Dantzler was one of the guys that emerged towards the end of the season. And he's one of the best Vikings corners going into next year. And I think Vikings fans should be very happy with what they have in him. But yeah, just too early to tell right now because I believe he had 2 picks and a decent amount of passes defended towards the end of the year, had a couple of really good games. But again, yeah, too early to tell just because he got drafted last year and he really could, is he in average? Is he in good? I don't know. So I'm going to put him in too early to tell. This is Ronald Darby. Ronald Darby's going in average. Ronald Darby, again, he's made his way around a lot of teams. And, this isn't 2015 and when he was part of the no-fly zone. It's been a while. So I believe he was last played with Washington. He had a decent year. But yeah, I'm going to put him in average. Michael Davis. A lot of people don't know who Michael Davis is. He's the Chargers' second corner. So if we were just going off last year, I would put him in good just because he had 3 picks, 14 passes defended, was key to their defense in a lot of ways. But I'm going to put him in average just because, actually, I'll put him, over here. If we kind of move these players around, I'll put him here just because, he had a good year last year, but again, throughout his career, he's been an average cornerback. So, he's going in average, but he had a good year last year. If he can build on that, add to this Chargers secondary for years to come, it would be great. But yeah, he's going in average for now. This is Trivond Diggs. Again, just too early to tell because again, he started off terrible, right? But then he had a good finish to the year, and Cowboys fans are very, very excited about this man. I would be too, because again, Cowboys fans have been looking for that number 1 corner. It's been a while, because he's got way more potential than Brandon Carr. I'll tell you that. So I think, for Trayvon Diggs, just honestly get better, keep working out with your brother. That's definitely one guy to practice on. But yeah, I think it's too early to tell because, 2nd round pick last year, he played for Alabama, and he kind of brought that over in 2020, but let's see how he does in 2021. I think he's a good corner, especially man-to-man. But yeah, too early to tell. Obviously, Caleb Farley is going to go in too early to tell because he is a rookie. We don't know. Obviously, the back injury, a lot of questions there. But yeah, I'm just going to put him in too early to tell right now. Not much to talk about. If you want to know more about Caleb Farley, go check out our video, Caleb Farley versus Patrick Surtain, made by my co-host Jack. This is Quandre Diggs. I don't know why he's in a cornerback list, but obviously he's going to go in good. He made the Pro Bowl last year, had 5 picks, but yeah, I don't know why Quandre Diggs is in here, but just ignore it. But Seahawks fans, again, he's good. I'm not going to put him in borderline elite just because he's not a corner, but if this was safeties, you could argue, even then I'd probably put him in good. Kyle Fuller, a newly Denver Broncos, going in good. He's been a great cornerback for the Bears, great veteran leader. He'll get his hands on the football. He had 7 picks one year, I remember. And he's been consistently great for the last 6 years. So I'm going to put him in good. CJ Gardner-Johnson also going in good. Avoiding the fight with Javon Wims. He's a good cornerback for the Saints. He's been really helpful for that defense alongside Janoris Jenkins and Marshawn Lattimore. I believe he played a couple safety snaps as well. So I don't even know, he's played both. I know he's played nickel corner and safety. So if he's also listed as a safety right now, I don't know, but I'm going to put him in good as well. Stefan Gilmore is going in elite. He's the second one to go on this list. Again, defensive player of the year 2 years ago. What's there to say about him? I mean, he was literally one of the biggest reasons they won Super Bowl 53. He's a great man-to-man corner. He's so strong, physical at the line of scrimmage. There's a lot I could say, but I think we all know he's elite, and he still is, even at the age of 30. I know he has the torn quad, and I don't know what the situation is right now with New England. It's going to be weird. I don't really know if he's going to stay. Is he going to hold out? What's going on there? But yeah, torn quad. Obviously, he didn't show up to, I believe it was mandatory minicamp. So we'll see what goes on, but he's still an elite corner. Shaquille Griffin, a new member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's in good. He had a great year last year. He had 3 picks, I believe 12 passes defended. He played the number 1 corner for Seattle, and he played really good throughout the year. So he was key to their playoff run, and I really like him. So I think the Jags got a good one. I think they got a good price for him. So Joe Hayden's going in borderline elite. Joe Hayden, in case you didn't know, obviously I'm rocking the Browns right now. He is actually one of the first players that got me into football. Joe Hayden, when he was with Cleveland. So it really hurt when he went to the Steelers, but he is a great number 1 corner. He's actually one of the best coverage players according to PFF. I believe he was in the top 10. So yeah, he's in borderline elite, tremendous corner. He's a great tackler. I'm sure you guys remember the I lift sound bite from NFL films, but yeah, he's going in borderline elite. Now this is Bryce Hall, not the TikToker, but the NFL player, and he's going in below average. He just actually I might change that, because in the games he played, he was below average, but he's only played a few games. So I'm going to put him in too early to tell, actually, because I believe he was drafted 2020. So yeah, I'm going to put him in too early to tell. I could put him in below average, but if I'm putting all these guys in too early to tell, I think I should for him as well. He played the second cornerback position. I believe he was on the right side alongside Bless Austin for the Jets. So let's see if he can get better. But yeah, he's going in too early to tell. I caught myself there. Chris Harris Jr. is going in good. He used to obviously be in this kind of tier, borderline elite, but he just hasn't, last time he made the Pro Bowl was 2018. He is an all-pro. He was a big part of that no-fly zone, but last year, again, didn't play the full. I think he only played 9 games. He's been a good cornerback, but yeah, nothing too spectacular, obviously since 2018. So he's going to go in good. CJ Henderson is going in too early to tell. He was the 9th overall pick last year. And week 1, actually, people argued that he was the best rookie of week 1. And when I watched the game, I actually rewatched it right before recording this video. He had an interception and 3 passes defended in 1 game, and he was terrific against the Colts. That was the one game that they won, and he was amazing. And I saw the comments, Jags fans were saying he might be better than Ramsey. I don't know about all that, but obviously too early to tell, because when he's on, he's great. But obviously he's had his bad games. So too early to tell. Let's see how he does in his sophomore year. This is Casey Hayward, a new member of the Raiders. He's also going in good. Similar thing to Chris Harris Jr. It's been a couple years since he's been really good. I think he didn't play the full year last year as well. But when he's on, again, he's a great man-to-man corner. He's also great, playing deep blues, especially along the sidelines for zone coverage. So I like Casey Hayward. He's going to go in good. JC Horn, obviously a rookie, too early to tell, just got drafted. If you guys want to watch his highlights, Jack said he might be the best cornerback in this draft. I thought he was amazing. Obviously just got selected by the Panthers. He was the first corner taken in this draft, so he's obviously got some potential. So let's see what he can do. But yeah, too early to tell. Xavier Howard, he's going to be the 3rd cornerback in this elite tier. I believe he had 10 picks last year. He is one of the best number 1 corners in the NFL. He's tremendous ball hawk. I think he's the best ball hawking cornerback in the league right now. He is amazing. So yeah, Xavier Howard, not much else to say. Obviously there's some contract disputes, even though he just got a mega extension. But hey, if I'm a Dolphins fan, I would still want to keep him. I want to do whatever it takes to keep him, because he is a cornerstone of that defense. Marlon Humphrey, he's one of those James Bradbury types, but I'm going to put him in elite just because I think he is a little bit better than James Bradbury because of his forced fumbling ability. Like, this dude is literally Peanut Tillman, but a better cover corner. That is what Marlon Humphrey is. He had 8 forced fumbles last year, and he was just tremendous for the Baltimore Ravens. He's a cornerstone piece. Obviously came from Alabama. So yeah, Marlon Humphrey he's the cutoff. He's the cutoff for that elite tier. Dante Jackson, One of my hot takes last year was Dante Jackson was going to emerge himself in that top 10 to 12 corner. But he did not. He massively disappointed. I thought without James Bradbury, I thought he could kind of elevate. He did not. No, he did not. I think everyone remembers that one of those routes by Julio Jones where he just absolutely crosses someone up. That was Dante Jackson. But despite all that, he's still one of the most agile corners in the league. He's got one of the best hops in the league. So I'm going to put him in average because he really disappointed me. I wanted to, last year I thought he would be in this kind of tier, but he's an average. J.C. Jackson's in borderline elite. Man, he's a stud. And I don't want to talk much about him, but one thing I will say is to show how good he was, Hollywood Brown is one of the fastest people in the NFL. He ran a go route, and J.C. Jackson ran his route for him and picked it off. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's how good he is. Obviously been a cornerstone for the New England Patriots secondary for the last few years, so he's in borderline elite. Janoris Jenkins is going to be in good. I'm going to try and order these and how good I think they are, but yeah, Janoris Jenkins has always been solid. He made the Pro Bowl in 2016. He had a great year in 2019 despite being traded to the Saints, and last year he also had a great year. I believe he had 12 passes defended, a couple picks. He's been a great guy alongside Marshawn Lattimore. Not much else to say. Jack Rabbit goes in good. Jalen Johnson, too early to tell. He's one of my favorite. He was my favorite rookie corner last year. I thought he really stepped up in a bunch of ways. I thought he was in the running for defensive rookie of the year before, Chase Young started to really come alive and all these guys. But now he's going to be in that number one role without Kyle Fuller. So let's see how they do. I know Bears fans love him, so it's going to be interesting to see. Byron Maxwell, next guy on our list. I just don't know because, I'm actually going to put him in average because he really disappointed that first year despite, that huge contract extension. He was just an Xavier Howard shadow. Just not much last year. If you can tell me 3 highlights by Byron Jones. Hopefully I didn't say Byron Maxwell. I meant Byron Jones. If you could tell me 3 highlights by Byron Jones last year, I would give you a medal because I don't remember anything. It was all Xavier Howard. So Byron Jones, I hope I didn't say Byron Maxwell. Byron Jones is going to go in average, as unfortunate as it is, because he was really hovering around this tier. He had that potential, but I'm going to put him in average, but obviously, towards the front tier. Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller is going to go in good. I always thought Kendall Fuller was a good cornerback with the Chiefs. And then, I think he had a solid year with Washington. He had a few picks. I think he had 4. He was a good number 1 corner for Washington. Not much else to say. Good man-to-man. A little bit. It needs to work a little bit on deep coverage just because I think his length and his wingspan, it limits him a little bit despite him being a little bit tall. But yeah, Kendall Fuller is going to go in good. Desmond King is also going to go in good. The 3 Chargers corners, they're all kind of in that good tier. Desmond King is fast. He is super quick. Like I said, again, fast, quick, great tackler. And he's also great at special teams. So I'm going to put him in good. And the Titans have I think he was pretty good with the Titans as he kind of went on. Kevin King is going to go in below average. I think you all know why. Obviously, he got burnt in the NFC Championship, but even prior to that, he just wasn't a good corner. He tried to live up to expectations alongside Jair Alexander. I know Packers fans will say he's overhated, but come on, if I gave you any of these guys to be, any of these guys an average, good, borderline elite to be that corner alongside Jair Alexander, you would take him over Kevin King. I guarantee it. Marshawn Lattimore, my Ohio State guy, is going to go in borderline elite. He is spectacular. Especially at his peak, he could really be up here. But if he was against Mike Evans, he'd be up here. But he's going to be in borderline elite. Ever since he came out in 2017, I believe he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's a tremendous corner. Been nothing short of sensational. So Saints can definitely need to keep him around. So one of the cornerstones for that defense, and borderline elite. Avonte Maddox is going to go in below average. Again, you don't hear much about him. He's the second corner for the Eagles. He hasn't done much throughout his career, just a below average corner. You could take a lot of these guys over him to be the Eagles secondary corner. Kenny Moore is going to go in good. I thought he had a great year last year, and I know everyone remembers that pick he had against the Raiders, the one-handed pick. But he had three more of those picks in 2020, and he's been a great cornerback alongside Xavier Rhodes for the Colts, and I think he's got a bright future ahead. He's also got a TikTok, just a fun fact. Emmanuel Mosley. Emmanuel Mosley is going to go an average. Again, nothing much to say about him. He had a couple good games on the 2019 playoff run. But 2020, there just wasn't anything that popped out to me. Again, he's had his good moments. He's had his bad moments. So that just puts him in average. Trayvon Mullen. Trayvon Mullen. I'm going to put him in average because, again, same thing with Emmanuel Mosley. He's had his good moments. He's had his down moments. But he's been asked to play, and be the Raiders' #1 corner. So I'm just going to put him in average, kind of like Bless Austin, because I think both of them could be a lot better. But the fact that they had to play the #1 corner and really embrace that role deserves at least an average spot. Byron Murphy Jr., I really want to put him in good, but I'm going to put him in average just because I think he's not better than Byron Jones. So actually, yeah. Move that down. He's not better than Byron Jones, but again, he had an amazing week 1 against the Niners. I remember that. But he's been a great complimentary piece, to Patrick Peterson the last few years, and I think he's young. He's only going to get better. So yeah, he's going to go in average. Greg Newsome, welcome to the Dog Pound. I actually saw a video of him, picking off Baker Mayfield and just him rallying around the teammates. So he's already kind of immersed himself with the Browns defense, which is great as a Browns fan. But I'm going to put him in too early to tell, obviously, because we haven't seen him touch the NFL field yet. Jeffrey Okudah, his rookie year was here, but I'm going to put him again in too early to tell just because drafted last year, we don't know what he's going to do. I'm praying he gets better because if I'm going to be honest, he is the best college cornerback I have seen. At least like I have seen real time. And I know that's some Ohio State bias, but he was insane. He shut down everybody. I don't think he allowed more than 40 yards his entire college career. He was that good. So I just don't know what happened in Detroit. I guess maybe too much expectations, but yeah, too early to tell. I'm really hoping he, bounces back and has a good sophomore year. This is Amani Oruwari. Again, most people don't know who he is. But he's below average. He was just not good for the Lions. Let me tell it to you this way. There were a couple articles on Lions websites that were saying why he needs to step up for them in 2020. He did not. He lost the starting job. That is why he's in below average. Marcus Peters is going to go in borderline elite. He's a ball hawk. Again, he's going to make you mad sometimes. He's going to whiff, but when he succeeds at kind of, on a play, it's very important and impactful to a defensive scheme. Like that's him himself. I think he's had the most picks since 2015. He led the league, I think, his rookie year. So he's always been a ball hawk. I think he just needs to be a little bit less of this do or die type of thing on a play. Or a little bit less of all or nothing. There you go. That's what to describe it. But when he's on, he's a borderline elite corner. Patrick Peterson's going to go in good, because if this was peak Patrick Peterson, he's going here, but obviously he's on the decline a little bit. It's been a while since he's made a Pro Bowl. He's going to be for Minnesota. Let's see how he does as the #1 corner. He's going to definitely be a veteran presence for a guy like Cameron Dantzler. So let's see how he does. Patrick Peterson, obviously on the Vikings, we know what he can do. He's fast, he's quick, he's tall, he's got range. So we all know that, but let's see how he does with Minnesota. Now, the best cornerback in the league, Jalen Ramsey, where he's going in elite. Just like watching him, for example, the Seahawks game, it was just in awe of how he shut down DK Metcalf. And people will bring up the whole Adams-Ramsey matchup in the divisional round. I personally think Ramsey won. Adams had 3 catches, 17 yards, and a touchdown on Jalen Ramsey. And the touchdown, again, that's him moving away from Jalen Ramsey. So it technically wasn't his assignment. He had 9 catches, 66 yards on the day, but only 3 catches were on Jalen Ramsey, including the touchdown. So I thought Ramsey won that matchup. This dude is insane. He's one of the most talented corners in the league. I think he's the most talented corner since Darrelle Revis. That is a huge statement, I know. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. I think he's that good. Xavier Rhodes is going to go in good. He had a really good bounce back year last year for the Colts. People won't know this, but he was tremendous as a #1 corner, at least considering his 2019 season was awful. It was very bad. But 2020, he definitely redeemed himself. And I think the Colts could keep using him. So this, I believe, is Bradley Roby. Yep, it is. Bradley Roby's going to go in average. Again, it's been a while since he's just kind of been moving around teams. He's kind of like Ronald Darby. I always mix the two up. But yeah, I think he's average. He could definitely be better. I think he's suspended. But yeah, going to put him in average. This is Kendall Sheffield. He's going to go in below average. Again, the Falcons secondary was just not good last year. And he was the secondary corner. He was the right cornerback. Just wasn't good. Hopefully he can turn things around 2021. But yeah, just not that good. Darius Slay is going to go in good because he kind of had a down year last year. Obviously, there would be years where he'd be in that borderline elite. But I think for this year, he's got to go in good, maybe in the top half. But yeah, I think he's kind of that cutoff because just last year he didn't do what Eagles fans expected him to do. L'Jarius Sneed. Now, usually I'd put him in too early to tell, but he had such a good year last year that I'm gonna put him in good. And I know I kind of mixed these things up with the wide receivers list. Like I put Jerry Jeudy in good, and I put CeeDee Lamb in too early to tell. But I think it's safe to say that L'Jarius Sneed is a good cornerback. Like I think he's got potential to be up here, but I think he's like, even if he does a little bit better last year, I think he's just solidified himself in this good tier. Steven Nelson is below average. He's currently a free agent. Was never good on the Steelers, or never really good. Like he had his moments, but just again was so inconsistent. That was him. So below average. AJ Terrell isn't too early to tell. He's had his moments. He's actually the first player that got COVID in the NFL season, which was pretty. I just thought people should know. But yeah, again, he would get burnt. But then he would also have his moments. Falcons fans, actually, let me know in the comments what you think about AJ Terrell, because I'm really torn on him. I don't know how good he can be. I was really shocked that the Falcons took him that early. But yeah, let's see. Desmond Truffant, I cannot put him in below average just because of just what he's done in his career. I got to put him in average. He wasn't that good for the Lions. Yeah, I just think, with Atlanta, he was good, but I think even right now, I think he's just an average corner. He's getting old, so he's probably going to move down to below average, but right now he's average. Jason Verrett is going good. I know Niners fans, like last year was borderline elite, but I need to see it again. I just think, coming off that injury, he has always been injury prone. Let's see what he does. Obviously without Richard Sherman, I don't even know what Richard Sherman's doing, but yeah, I think it's fair to keep him in good. Yeah, I think he's going to do well. Obviously now he's going to really bode that number one cornerback mantle, but I think he's in that tier of Darius Slay and Patrick Peterson. So I'm going to keep these two right here. And I know I'm pretty strict, but yeah, that's what I'm going with. Levi Wallace. I think he's an average second corner. He didn't do anything that popped out to me last year. He had a couple good games. The one against the Colts, I thought he played well against the Colts. But yeah, just not much else to say. He plays alongside Trey White, so he kind of gets shadowed. But Denzel Ward is going in borderline elite. And no, this is not Browns bias. He is literally, when he's healthy, again, he's a top 5 cover corner. His passer rating allowed is super low. I believe it's in the 60s. He is a great cornerstone to our defense. So I don't want to hear any Browns, but this is no Browns bias. He's definitely borderline elite. He's borderline top 10. If you like, I could make a case he's top 8 when healthy, but yeah, I think people would have no problem with me putting in borderline elite. Hopefully we extend him soon. He's he wants to stay in Cleveland. Like, I'm happy about that. So yeah, borderline elite. This is Trey Wayne's below average. I'll put him in average. I think I'd take him over all these guys. So yeah, I'll put him in average just because he's had a couple good years. He had one good year with the Vikings, and then with the Bengals, I don't think he even played with the Bengals. So I think he's going to play next year. I think he opted out. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm going off his Viking stuff. He wasn't like tremendously great. So yeah, I'm putting him in average. Trey White is going in borderline elite. He's like right on the cusp. Like he's like right here, I think. I could, I could obviously put him here, but I think I'm gonna put him right here, like 6th. I think he's 6th. James Bradbury and him are like right there. I think Bills fans will get mad at me for that, but I think he had a down year last year, a little bit compared to his 2019 season, but tremendous corner. Like, don't get me wrong. I think just these 5 are right now on their own kind of level. And then these, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are like in their own tier. Like, I think Denzel Ward at his peak can be a Trey White. Marshawn Lattimore at his peak can be a Trey White. Trey White at his peak can obviously be up here, but I think right now it's safe to say he's like he's 6th. I think he's right off the cusp. Darius Williams. I'm actually going to put him in borderline elite because I thought he was really good alongside Jalen Ramsey. Now, I know you guys might get mad. Why is he here over, a guy like Darius Slay? So you know what? I'll actually put him right. He'll be the cutoff, yeah, because I think he had one good year. He's still really young, so sky's the limit for him. But yeah, I think he's at the top of good. Oh yeah, I'm really liking this right now. I think I got my 5 elite, I got my 7 borderline elite, and I got these 4 in that highlighting the good. I think these are all good cornerbacks. Akilo Witherspoon. Is it? I'm being nice, but no, I'm putting him below average. One, he was talking trash to the Niners community, despite literally getting burnt all game against the Vikings in the divisional round 2 years ago. He's really inconsistent, so I'm going in below average. And to round it out, William Jackson III. He's gonna go in below average. When he played for the Bengals, again, another guy who left the Bengals and was trash talking them. Dude, you got burnt by Odell. Second week was just never consistently good. I mean, there's literally my friend Jared, who has been on the show a couple times, literally made a montage of him getting burnt. He's a below average corner. Should round that out. So this is my tier list. I got the 5, right? Jalen Ramsey, Jair, Stefan Gilmore, Xavier Howard, and Marlon Humphrey. Honestly, in that order, I think. I mean, you can make a case for these 2. I don't really care. I'm indifferent. Let's move Denzel Ward a little bit like that. I think something like that. That would probably be my borderline elite tier, right? I think you can move these guys around. But yeah, this would be my borderline elite tier. Good's got a lot of these corners. I think you guys would agree with me. These guys are all good. These are all average guys that could move up, move down. You really don't know. These are the below average ones. Obviously, we've got a couple Cowboys there. And these are all the guys in too early to tell. So let me know what you guys think. Any guy that I, could have moved up, any guy I could have moved down. Would love to hear it. I will respond to all the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Anish from The Cold Hard Truth, and we will see you next time.